Okay, this is Introduction to Web Technologies and Design, cs952. We're going to close up our Bootstrap layout file. Now, we only had that file just to kind of give us something to work with, so that we could see how Dreamweaver handles a Bootstrap file, different elements on the web page. But now we're actually going to get started into building our website. So I'm following along on the information that you're going to find in Etudes if you go and look in the step-by-step section. Let's see, I believe I might have this open. Yeah, here we go. So this is creating a development page. We're going to go through these steps one at a time. And the way that we're building this website is we're first going to create a development page, or you folks might call this a dev page. And this is a place for us to sort of start putting the elements together for our website, experimenting with how we want our web page to look. We're not going to be using the development page directly to make our website. Once we've got our development page and we like the way it looks and we've got the parts in that we want, we'll use our development page to create a template. And once we have that template, then we can mass produce our development page. So you can kind of think of it as, in your development page, if you're a cabinet builder, you might sit down and experiment with different pieces of wood, framing everything, building one cabinet and getting it just the way that you want it. And then once you've got that cabinet together, then you will create plans that you can then give to someone else to have them mass produce that cabinet for you over and over again. So our development page is sort of like that first cabinet that we build, that prototype, to see what it's going to look like. Then we create a template from that. And the template is what Dreamweaver can use so that we can create not one page, but 2 pages, but 100 pages, all based on that same template. And we can take advantage of the power of the template. If we go back and decide we want to add something to our menu or change the footer, because we used a template to create these pages, if we had 120 pages in our website, which is pretty believable these days, we don't have to go back and by hand edit all 120 pages. We just edit the template and all 120 pages will change for us. So let's get started. We're back here in Dreamweaver. By the way, we're going to be creating our own development page, but it's also possible you can find some Bootstrap templates or sample Bootstrap pages online. You can load those into Dreamweaver and turn those into templates. So any web page that's already in existence, you can kind of use that to crank out multiple versions of it. The template is a very powerful feature of Dreamweaver. But let's follow along in our instructions. The first thing we're going to do on step 1 is we're going to go under File, up here at the top, and we're going to choose New Document, just like we did before. And our New Document dialog box opens. And again, we're going to choose Bootstrap. This time, we're not going to include a pre-built layout because we don't need another sample layout. We're going to be building this from scratch. And we're going to use our existing Bootstrap. When we created that first layout page, Dreamweaver added in the CSS and the fonts and the JavaScript, put all those files in place for us. We don't need to do that again. So we're going to use those files that Dreamweaver already saved for us, and we don't need that pre-built layout. So we've selected New Document, HTML. We said we're going to make a Bootstrap file. We're going to use our existing Bootstrap components, and we don't need another pre-built layout. And then we just click Create. So what we get is a blank page because we don't have anything in it yet. And first thing I'd like to do is change the document title. Remember when we looked at elements in the head of our page, I said the title is going to change for every page. And just to help me remember what I'm working on, I'm going to type in dev for development, and then I'm going to type in my name. So dev for development, and then before we go any further, let's save our work. So I'm going to go up and I'm going to click on the Save button. And it really doesn't matter which button. I clicked on Save All because that's the button I click on the most. But if we haven't saved this page before, Dreamweaver always tries to call it untitled. And we're just going to call our page dev, D-E-V. That's all we need. Just type in dev and then hit Save. Dev, short for development. Okay, So now our page has been saved. Our design philosophy for building websites is mobile first, and that is the approach for building a website in the year 2016, because mobile web use is growing faster than anything else. We want to make sure our website looks great when people are viewing it on a mobile device. So we're going to click on our extra small or mobile view. Let's click right there. And we're going to get started using this view to build our elements. Now let's look over here in our document, in our DOM panel. We're going to click on our body tag. We're going to be adding elements to our body tag. And the first thing we want to do is add in our navigation. So if I go up here under the Insert panel, I see Bootstrap Components. This is one of the great things about Dreamweaver CC 2015 is we can click and get these Bootstrap components added right to our web page. Some of these components have a lot of code. We don't have to hand type all that code. If you're doing this all on a basic code editor, there'd be quite a bit of code to enter, but all we need to do is just click on our navigation bar. Now we have a couple different choices if we look over here under navigation under our drop down menu. So we have 4 different choices for our navigation. There's the basic nav bar, which is what we're going to be using. Now this is a navigation bar that's going to be at the top of the page, and then as we scroll down it disappears because we're looking at other content. We scroll all the way down to the bottom of our page. That's how most websites work. We can choose nav bar fixed to the top, which means that no matter how we scroll our page up or down, we always see our navigation bar. We also can have our navigation bar fixed to the bottom, and then we have an inverted navigation bar, which basically means it's a navigation bar, the basic one, with different colors. So we're just going to choose the basic navigation bar. And now we've added navigation to our website. I'm going to open this up just a little bit so you can see the difference between small view and our mobile view. You can see we get our different elements to our navigation link. And the first thing I want to do, switch to code view, and I want to change the first link that we have in our code view, and I'm going to use a glyphicon for our first link. Glyphicons are built into Bootstrap, and they're kind of like icons. We can edit this link in live view, but as I mentioned earlier, sometimes it's a little tough to do certain kinds of editing in live view. When we go to code view, we can always edit anything that we want to. So let's switch to code view, and what I want to edit is this very first link. Okay, so I'm going to switch to code view. Now if we go to, I believe it's around line 28, what we're looking for is this word right here where it says link. If I double click on the word link, I can highlight and edit the text that says link. If I switch to my other views, like I said, it's a little tricky to edit. What we want to do is we want to take out the word link and we want to replace it with a glyphicon. So I'll show you how easy this is to do. I double click on the word link. This is the very first time we see the word link, and I just hit delete. Next, I'm going to go over here to my Bootstrap components, and I'm going to click on glyphicons, and I'm going to choose home. Okay, and Dreamweaver inserted all this code for us in place of the word link. I'm going to click on Save All. And now I'm going to switch to live view, and we can see the difference. So now you can see instead of having the word link, we've now got a little home icon. Let me drag this out a little bit here. There we go. I switched on to, clicked onto the word brand so that we wouldn't see the code hint, the tag editor. So we replaced the word link with that neat little glyphicon. This is a good place to take a break, and then we're going to come back and we're going to get started with customizing our navigation bar.